is one of my picks. And joining us this week, we have Patrick, Isaac, and Adam, the other Adam again. Though again, I don't consider you the other Adam. You were the first main Adam in my life, and that's what your tag should say. But okay. Um, so yeah, get right into it, and then we'll talk about what you guys think. And thanks for joining us again, Adam.
Pleasure is all on this side of the table.
I'm glad you can make it too, Epic. I just checked my phone from listening to like John bicker with everybody all afternoon about some video games, and I'm like, oh, I didn't text back with this, but I'm glad to see you here, man.
Yeah, yeah, no, it was close, but yeah, I'm
It
here.
was close, but we made it.
Yep.
Okay, the movie this week is from 2014. This movie is probably one of my favorites because I forcefully made Isaac watch it when he visited me in Virginia. I think you were still living in Phoenix at the time, right?
I have no idea when it was. It was like 8 years ago.
It had to be when you were still living in Phoenix at the time, because right.
Maybe. Oh
This
yeah, if it
movie,
came out in 14, then yeah.
yeah, because you this is Virginia's recent for you, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yeah. 6 years.
So 2014, this movie is called It Follows. And Isaac and I, after I picked this one, Isaac and I were discussing, man, Rob picks a lot of movies with like sexual abuse or connotations in them, and I'm like, jeez, I didn't really mean that for this one, but it is. But it's basically about a young lady that uh, has a hookup with a guy she's seeing, and ever since this hookup, she has this invisible entity following her around. Um, and obviously, if it catches her, it kills her. We see that a couple times in the movie.
It's
Um,
it's called the ST Demon.
the ST demon. Yep,
That's
yep.
from that's from Michael when I was watching it, trying to keep it to myself watching it.
And you know what? That's probably the best way to refer to that. Is the whole movie is an allegory for sexually transmitted diseases. So, um, Patrick, you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. Actually, it's a good movie.
I
I
told you
was
this one was pretty tame for me.
I was actually impressed. I remember seeing previews for this a while back and
Mm-hmm.
wanting to watch it, but not doing it because I don't watch these kind of movies normally.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I really really enjoyed it. They the way they made the demon move, like he has to walk slowly towards the victim,
Yeah.
and which allows them to panic and start running and everything. But
Like, and we know that you've had your hoe phase, and that's why you're always safe because you're flying everywhere all the time, and it's always just confused and walking slowly behind you, dude.
yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, dude. But
My bad. My.
you're gonna cut this out, right, Isaac? 'Cause
We've all had one. Attend. What was your rating slash favorite part?
um, I don't know. My rating was probably like a 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
Um,
Okay.
favorite part had to be at the end where she just gave up.
Yeah. Yeah. And just that whole
Did it the
part
easy
with
way.
the whole part with her, like also just sleeping with the kids on the boat too, just to get rid of it again, and then you realize it's coming after her again. You kind of feel bad for the kids on the boat and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, Adam B, what about you, sir?
So I had so many notes on this because I am, like Patrick, not that big of a horror fan. I actively avoid them. I was a little scared to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a
Mm-hmm.
wuss when it comes to that. But this actually ended up being very interesting, and to me, it was a lot more of like an allegory of not just like your own mortality being an impending, slow moving thing coming at you, but also adulthood and the loss of innocence. Like the whole movie kind of opens up with these B-roll shots of like very childlike, innocent, kids playing, bugs flying, swimming in the backyard, and everything hits the fan. And even like the chloroform scene, like she's playing with a flower and then her like limp hand hits the flower. So to
Sure.
me it's like a lot about that lost innocence and that being impending. But there's so many cool layers to it. I liked particularly the use of music in it, and I did want to point out that this movie came out in 2014,
Hmm.
and that music that goes with it is super like 80 horror film nostalgia synthy. And you know what didn't come out until 2016? Stranger Things.
Stranger Things, yeah.
So
Yep.
just saying, maybe the creators of Stranger Things were a little inspired musically by this particular film. Uh, I loved it. The opening scene with the girl in the pajamas and the red high heel shoes. Uh, then like the readings that the other person did, both in the beginning, with like she's referring to like people sitting down and closing their eyes when a house is caving in instead of running,
Hmm.
to take what might come, kind of referring to the beginning, and then at the end there's like that quote that kind of ends it, which I don't even really want to read because it's kind of like, to me, that's a great way to wrap it up. So if you're gonna watch it, that last line, being read, I feel like, about inevitability is so good, and the ending, I thought was also a nice little like bow wrapped on everything, but
Yeah.
not in a nice way. So for me, kind of like Patrick, it's a 6 slices, but keeping in mind that the toppings on this pizza I normally actively avoid. So I'm still eating 6 slices of it because it was that good in the end.
Good. Isaac, take it away.
I have a bunch of smaller notes and questions too.
Okay.
What when is this supposed to be set in? Like what time period? Because the music is so 80s. They got those old CRT TV screens. But what is that seashell thing she's
That's
reading
totally
from?
what I was gonna. One of the things I was gonna say too is like you don't know when this is taking place because it's got such a mishmash of like different eras in it. Like the seashell thing I read online that she's reading from is like a cell phone, right? So it's
Yeah.
and it's just a weird setting for the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's never really explained.
Yeah, because if you just watch and read it, pay attention to what's going on. You would think 80s, but then she has this weird, like, futuristic looking device where she's like reading full books on that's like
Mm.
a Kindle or something, but it's like pocket size and it looks like a seashell. I don't know what that is. And then it had been so long since I seen this the first time, and the only thing I had remembered from before was the pool scene because they come up with this elaborate plan. They're gonna capture this dude by, I guess, like putting a bunch of electronic devices around a pool, and then when he gets in, they're gonna try to shock it, I guess.
Yeah.
And it 100% fails. It does not work at all.
I
The
like
dude-
when he immediately
loved
shoots
it.
his friend.
yeah,
Yeah, what was that about?
the
Doesn't even feel
monster
bad
is
about it.
throwing the devices at the person in the pool, not even getting in the pool,
Yeah,
and like that was a lot of wasted effort.
Yeah, the whole setup.
But it was great because, like, initially the guy that passed it to her was like, it's slow, but it's not dumb.
Yeah.
So they're like trying to treat it like an animal they're gonna put in a trap, and it's like, nope.
Yeah.
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 That's the other thing too. When she like, I guess, passed on to those boaters or whatever, that's so mean. The guy that gave it to her at least like gave her the whole rundown.
Yeah,
This is
heads
what's
up,
going
right?
on. You got to watch out for this. Those boaters had no idea what was coming. They had no
Yeah.
idea.
Someone was just walking towards him, and
Yeah.
it was exactly. The whole ending was strange for me with how they handled it, and then Adam, the part you brought up about the ending too, where it's just kind of left a little ambiguous because you see somebody walking behind them, but is it somebody walking or is it? So I thought that was neat.
Yeah. Do you think that was the monster behind them, or was it just walking down the street?
I secretly want it to be the monster that was behind them. I hope so, but at this point we'll never know
Yeah.
until they follow.
Right.
I saw that. There's a sequel coming.
Yep. Yep.
Sequel coming called They Follow. Very excited. Isaac, did you have more notes before
No,
your rating?
I'm gonna go with like 7.5 because this isn't just a horror movie. This is like, it has a real indie movie vibe to it, and
Yeah.
you used to force me to watch horror movies all the time, and I always be like, oh, fine, and I'll watch it. But this is the first time I was like, okay, all right, we got a actually well-made, like an interesting movie here. This is good stuff.
And that's you guys know my picks are gonna kind of go towards the horror route, but I did promise you guys that I would not go extreme. I know I have gone extreme with Isaac. Like one of the first horror movies that I made Isaac watch was House of a Thousand Corpses by Rob Zombie. So I won't do that to you guys, but I do. If I think like a movie is kind of thought provoking or really well made and it's a horror, I'm gonna do it. The next one that I have already lined up is going to be a horror too, but kind of a similar style of this one being like, okay, what's really going on? Myself, I fell in love with this movie as soon as I saw it. The girl in the beginning obviously needed like some sort of knee replacement after whatever she went through.
So brutal.
That was crazy.
And I think that was probably the most brutal scene in the movie, right? Just that
I think
beginning
so.
part.
Yeah.
How did he kill that dude in the bedroom?
So I've read a couple things, but it's the ST demon sexes people to death, apparently.
Apparently.
And
that's especially brutal because he did that as the dude's mom.
yeah, as the dude's mom. So the last thing you're seeing is your mother on top of you. So yeah, that was. Wow. Yeah, it was. That's kind of messed up too. But like, what did he do to sex that first girl to death, man? Her knee. Who does that? Her knee was like facing the opposite direction, So it was, and one of my favorite parts in this movie actually scared me more than a lot of, because I'm desensitized to horror movies, but this one bothered me a little bit more than the normal stuff that I watch. Like especially the beach scene where they're all just chilling, hanging out. You don't really know what's going on. Then you see the girl's hair fly up in the air. I'm like, oh geez, that was pretty messed up. And there's been talks for a long time about a sequel, so I'm happy it's finally coming into fruition. It originally was going to be like them going down the chain trying to figure out where this thing originated from, and I think now it's moved beyond the scope of that from the stuff that I've read about the director. And again, we never really get to see what the actual demon looks like, SD demon, besides whatever's form they're taking. But yeah, good movie for me. Seven for me. And thank you guys for sitting through a horror movie. I appreciate that.
Of course.
One of the only people I'd do it for.
I don't even remember whose pick is next. We kind of got out of sync a little bit, right?
I think we said me.
I think it is you. And then if we can get the other Adam to show up more than one episode here and there, his pick will be after yours, and then we'll go back to Epic. You have anything in mind you want to do yet, or?
I'm down to like 2 or 3. I got to decide which route I want to take, which way I want to go.
You've had some good picks. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not.
Well,
I'm not worried.
I'm in because I got a couple that are still kind of in the same vein of what I've been doing before I start branching out into other stuff.
For the record, though, there is one that you and I have seen together in a movie theater in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
And that one's going to be one of my picks when I eventually get another one. So don't pick that one.
You guys are going to love that one.
All right, guys. As always, if we're wrapping it up, be kind to yourselves, each other's, and your insides. It's Pizza After Midnight's Young Man's Game. Later.
Peace.
Peace.
Bye.